Good morning, Northridge Kindergarten. Miss Scudiero here, and for today's lesson, we're going to continue working with partners up to the number 5. So let's get started. In today's lesson, our learning target will be I can create and solve addition stories with partners up to 5. So I know last week we focused on subtraction. This week we'll be focusing on some addition stories. For today's lesson, friends, what you will need is 5 counters. Now, this can be 5 pennies from your house, 5 pieces of dry cereal like Kix or Cheerios. It could even be buttons, jelly beans, anything you have around your house. You can gather 5 of the same item of. Now, before we get started, friends, what I would like you to do is please press pause right here so you have a chance to gather your materials. And then when you're ready, please unpause and let's begin. Okay, friends, now I know we've used a number path earlier in the year, but today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how we could use that number path again to help us solve story problems. Now, even though I'm going to be showing you some addition problems on the number path, I want you at home to still do your problems using your 5 counters only. So that means you are just going to look at my example of the number path and you will do your own work with the counters. In our first problem today, friends, there were 2 students in the sandbox. One more came to play. How many are in the sandbox now? Well, remember, I'm going to show you on my number path while you're going to show them with your counters. So let's go back to our problem to see where we should begin. It says there was 2 students in the sandbox. So how many counters should you put down? That's right, you should put 2 counters down, and I'm going to circle on my number path number 1 and 2. The reason I'm going to circle them together is to show that they were together in the sandbox, so we know 2 is the number. Now, let's go back to the problem. It says one more came to play. How many are in the sandbox now? So you should grab one more counter and put it right down next to those 2 you have already. I'm going to just circle one more number on my number path. Now, boys and girls, when you're doing a number path, you're going to look. The next number I'm going to circle is the number 3. Nice work, because 3 is the number right next to 2. So now check your work. Do you have 3 counters down? You should have 3 counters down, which means that there were 3 friends in the sandbox. Good job. Now let's try another one together. Okay, friends, for our second problem today, there were 4 students in the sandbox. One more came to play. How many are in the sandbox now? Okay, so remember, I'm going to do this problem on my number path. You're going to do it with your counters. So let's go back to the problem. It says there are 4 students in the sandbox. So let's think. How many counters should you start with? 4. Good job, boys and girls. So while you're putting 4 counters out in front of you, I'm going to circle numbers 1 through 4 on the number path. Remember, I am circling all 4 of them together to represent there are 4 students that are together in that sandbox. Now that we're ready, your counters are down, my numbers are circled, we need to go back to that problem and look. It says one more came to play. So again, you're going to grab one more counter, put it down. I'm going to circle one more number. Now, friends, let's look at my number path. Remember, I need to circle the next number after the number 4. I want you to turn and talk to someone you're with and tell them what number that is. Good job. You should have told them 5. Now that I circled the number 5, I want you to count all your counters you have down and you should have 5 as well. So there were 5 students in the sandbox. Nice work. Now, this is the last one we will try together before I want you to try one all on your own, boys and girls. So let's get started. There was 1 student on the swings. 1 more came to play. How many are on the swings now? So remember, you're going to be working with your what? Counters. That's right. And I'm going to be working with a what? Number path. Good job. Okay, so it says there was 1 student on the swings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to circle the number 1 on my number path. And you're going to put down 1 counter. Nice work. Now it says 1 more came to play. So again, I want you to turn and talk and tell someone you are with right now. What number am I going to circle? If it says 1 more, what number comes 1 more after the number 1? Look at my number path and tell somebody you are with. Good job, 2. So now I want you to put 1 more counter down next to the one you have down. How many do you have, boys and girls? You should also have the number 2. Good job. So there were 2 students on the swing. Now it is your turn. Let's see what you can do. For your problem today, there were 3 students in the sandbox. 1 more came to play. How many are in the sandbox now? Well, boys and girls, so let's go back to the problem. It says there were 3 students in the sandbox. So how many counters did you put down? I want you to put them down right in front of you right now, the number you think you should have. If you put the number 3, give yourself a nice pat on the back. Good job, friends, because it says 3 students, which means you need 3 counters. Now let's go back and see what to do next. 1 more came to play. So I want you to put how many more down you think you should put down. I'll give you a second again. Nice work. You should have put 1 counter down. Now, for the final work, I want you to see how many are in the sandbox now. So I want you to count up all those counters you have down. 4. Good work, friends. Give yourself a nice pat on the back again. You should have 4 counters down to show 4 students in the sandbox. You are now ready for your independent work. For your independent work today, friends, what you will do is, just like last week, you will make your very own number story. But this time, you will be making an addition story. So you will use your counters and the playground picture. You can make a story about friends on the slide, friends in the sandbox, friends on the swing, whatever you would like to do. After you create that story, you're going to have someone take a video of you and post it to Seesaw so that your teachers can see your great work of telling that addition number story to them. We can't wait to see what great jobs you do. And best of luck.